Humans, we went through a long way in evolution. At the beginning, we counted hundreds, then thousands and millions, and finally, it's 7.6 billion of us. And now, we abuse the land more and more. We behave like parasites. We destroy a valuable ecosystem. What if we will push the limits too much? We have started looking for new planets to move. Mercury, which is closest to the Sun, is uninhabitable due to temperatures reaching up to 430 degrees Celsius. Next is Venus, named after the Greek goddess, is also struggling with a powerful greenhouse effect, always covered with a thick gas atmosphere. Venus' atmosphere in 97% is built of CO2. Sunlight which goes through its atmosphere is being absorbed by the soil on the surface, and then the soil radiated in the form of heat. Over the last decade, our attention was focused on the red planet at over 56 million kilometers away from us. Its surface is closest to Earth, and it could be our new home. How to prepare Mars for arrival? What do we need to live? The same as now, but in that case, also an oxygen. How to transform such an inhospitable planet? We will do it old-fashioned way, the same way as we do and practice here on Earth for the last 150 years with factories and global warming on purpose. Emission of carbon into Mars' atmosphere will trap the heat from the sun and rise up its temperatures. Factories wouldn't be enough on its own. But this little push of average temperatures during a summertime will be enough to melt ice on Mars' both poles, what will create gas which might stay for a while floating around the planet. We need to warm Mars 10 times as we did on Earth over the past 100 years. The device called Waver theoretically might be able to liquid water. It's basically a low-tech dehumidifier. Mars' atmosphere is often 100% humid. This device can extract all the water simply from the atmosphere. In 100 years, Mars will be warm, wet, and ready for life. It's called terraforming. If we have water, we can start growing our own food, but it won't be more than 15% of our needs. In the meantime, most of our food will arrive from Earth and it will be dried. Another thing is a shelter. We can use inflatable pressurized buildings as well as the lanterns themselves, but this only really works during the daytime. There is too much radiation from the sun or cosmic rays. That means we have to go underground. We may choose to live in caves or lava tubes. What would be the effect on us? Rocket launches would take place once every 2 years when Mars is closest to the Earth. Also, space is not a place for normal people, and mass immigration is not the best idea to save us from the Earth's problems. Dealing with climate change is a doodle compared to terraforming Mars. Space pioneers will have far more incentive than us on Earth to redesign themselves. They will harness the super powerful genetic and cyborg technology that will be developed in the coming decades. Who knows, maybe in the future we'll have new type of Homo sapiens who is genetically more adapted to different atmosphere. Status of space invaders sounds like a good alternative which might save us, but not exactly our planet. If not, shouldn't we undertake some actions? Of course, but first we need to know what's the problem. We are struggling with natural disasters that occur spontaneously and those that are the effects of our presence, like global warming, melting ice poles, deforestation, overpopulation, and world hunger. To these problems we can add those that await us in the future, like increasing gap between rich and poor, asteroid impact, explosion on the surface of the sun. Some politicians doubt the anthropogenic causes of climate change and, at the very least, man's ability to reverse them in the moment of the prospects for a serious environmental crisis. There is a fear that global warming will become unstoppable. When similar crises occurred in our history, there were always lands suitable for colonization. That's what Columbus did when he discovered New World in 1492. But now, there is no New World. We are getting tighter on Earth, and the only places where we could possibly move are other globes. At present, the nuclear war is the greatest threat to humanity, but we hardly remember it. Although Russia and the United States no longer have their fingers on the atomic button. But let us suppose that there will be some failure or a conflict. At the moment we have nowhere to go, but in the long run humanity should not keep possessions on one planet. I only hope that this planet will not escape from our hands before we learn how to move into space. Electricity cars companies such as Tesla seems to be one of our saviors. Electricity is harmless to the ecosystem and can be possessed in many ways. Need for oil will decrease, which results in lower extraction and lower dirt emission into the atmosphere. We should reduce wasting drinking water and switch on plant-based diet because animal farming has a massive environmental impact on ozone hole. Mars will not become our new home that we can all move to. Before we can get there, we may annihilate ourselves while still being on Earth. Assuming that in the end, we will settle there, wouldn't any conflict between the planets explode? Will people called Martians want to cooperate with us? Who will be in charge? What will be a currency? Water or oxygen? Maybe we'll finally get our green creatures whom we've been looking for. From the very beginning we have been curious. Curiosity is our fuel in progress. Colonization of Mars is only a matter of time, and it is a vision of the future I'm waiting for impatiently. Space is a very unfriendly place, full of black holes, exploding stars, meteorites rushing several hundred meters per second to hit something, even us. Therefore, we should migrate to other planets to provide additional chances for the survival of the humankind in the moment when one of those things may happen to us. However, don't forget what is happening now. Every day, the growing greenhouse effect can begin to be felt right now. Imagine when we run out of food and primitive instincts awaken in us. Countries use atomic weapons bringing destruction on us, or maybe drug-resisting superbugs reducing population back to thousands. Space is the way we should follow, but it also may turn out that the space is not the solution we are exactly looking for. Or maybe we have been on Mars before. Maybe we are the Martians who came on Earth. Martians who tried to escape planet's problem, same as we are trying now.